Right to a channel of Light Fluid. Welcome to Moonfire, the Seeker's Saga. It's a new series we're doing on the channel here. It's by Moonmunch Studio, and the dev was kind enough to give me a Steam key for this, so thank you for that. If you want to go and check it out, it is on Steam, but we will be doing a full playthrough over the next matter of months here. There's quite a lot to see, so I'm going to do what I can with it. So there'll be lots of options and choices that, I haven't shown you, so there's definitely more to play if you want to go and play it by yourselves. It's kind of a mixture of a game and a visual novel, so it's a bit of a difference for the channel, but I think you'll enjoy it. There we go, that's enough of an intro for now. We're going to be doing the first chapter here. So let's start it up with a new game. We've always tried to walk in the path of light, but they stole what hope we had. The moment they took him from us, immorality is akin to demonhood. Decay will devour them, from death to dust. In the shadow of the moon, their dying breaths will burn, and their souls will bleed into the sky. I awaken with my hands amongst sand. My head is pounding, my vision deeply blurred. I hear seagulls circling the shore, can barely manage to see. I try to rub what feels like sea salt out of my eyes, only introduced to sand that still covers me. I can barely move. It is at that moment I hear footsteps approaching me. I try to glance up at them, but fail to even make out the features of their face. I raise my arm for help and feel an assertive grasp clench my wrist. I anticipate them pulling me up until I'm rolled over instead. I turn my face to the side and spit sand, barely able to breathe. Cannot muster enough strength to even move. I feel hands grasp around my body, searching through my belongings. It's only then I take notice of something within my pockets, just as they take it from me. For a while, all goes silent. I wonder, are they just going to leave me here to die? I try to turn to them and raise my hand for help. I don't care if they took anything. I'm just trying to... What am I trying to do? My mind starts shuffling and I can't seem to keep grasp of what is happening. Before long, everything fades. You really are alive. See, sis? Hey, you're finally awake. I can't believe it. Are you all right? How do you feel? My vision slowly comes to as I weakly glance around. Propped against the corner, I sit inside a small, semi-enclosed wagon. Across from me is what appears to be two elves, a boy and a girl. The boy elf, both smaller and younger than the other, looks at me with excitement. The girl extends her palm out to me with a moist rag atop it. Please, take this. It might help your fever. I raise my hand in protest, but she gives me no choice. She tosses into my lap and leans back against her side of the cabin. I'm glad we'd found you when we did. The birds looked eager to pluck you the second you stopped breathing. The wagon teeters consistently as a small silence ensues, only to be disrupted mere moments later. The younger elf leans in towards me, eyes burning with strange curiosities. So, what even are you? Enter, that's rude. The girl snaps at her brother as he shrugs, seeing nothing wrong with his prodding. Look at them both in slight bewilderment. What do you mean? I'm just a person, I say to them as they tilt their heads in confusion. You know, a boy. Well, I can see that. But what's a person? A human. You've never seen a human before. Where am I? You're in Malanthea, the northern county of Tavenor. The two pause, noting a lack of reaction from me. How do you not know of it? Who cares of that? It's neat. You're like a furless, but not an elf. That's so cool. Sorry if we're overwhelming you. She smacks her brother playfully. We're just very curious. Is there anything you know of? Don't think I know. Everything is foggy. Don't even know how I got here. Oh, gosh, we found you nearly dead by the sea. She pauses for a moment. Oh, drat, forgive me. We've got to introduce ourselves. She bends her head in embarrassment. I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment. I'm sorry about that. We just never saw someone like you before. But you can call me Cora, and this here's my little brother, Fendur. We're elves. You have seen elves before, yes? With a soft shake of my head, she continues. Elves are the descendants of Fae and one of the many populations of Malanthea. We mostly inhabit the western parts of Tavenor. There are us, orcs, and then the rest of creature kind. Well, I guess there's you now too. Do you at least remember your name? Let's go. A genuine name. It sounds like it might fit in. Geraint is your name? Yes. A Geraint, huh? Don't think I've heard of anyone having a name like that before. Just as Fendur finishes, a bipedal feline jumps on the side of the wagon, her head poking through she observes everyone before speaking. All I could see of her, she's wearing a slim outfit with a cowl. A single sheathed weapon set strapped on either side of her belt. Yeah, hey Cora, I'll go Cora. Cora nods to the feline, affirming not much has changed on her end. And yet up front with the others. The cat blinks with a soft nod before hopping off the side of the wagon and trotting up the road, gone as quick as she came. After she leaves, I turn to Cora and Fendur once more. Who was that? That was me. Fendur jumps in to answer quickly, his sudden response nearly stumbling my thoughts. Don't call her that. You know she hates it. Cora glanced at Fendur. That was Mayu Lightwater. She's my personal scout and part of the guard. She can be a bit hard to talk with, but she is kind at heart. She thwacks at her brother's shoulder once more. Reese, why you just stop nagging at her? Hey, knock it off. So, why'd you choose to save me? She probably wouldn't like to admit, but it's just in Cora's nature to help anyone she sees. It's just a part of my duty, really. It's the right thing to do. What do you mean? I'm to be the next Seeker. And if I can't follow in the path of Aswin, what kind of elf does that make me? Who is Aswin? She's the goddess of light and warmth. She's the mother of all existence and the creator of the gods. Cora points to the sun above. She looks over us every day to remind us we are not alone. I see. What is a seeker? It is a tradition of Valenthia. There's a lot to it. We mainly seek the path of Icewind, to find her light and share it. Where are we heading? Back home, to Havenhearth. We were called back. Fenrir falls silent as he hangs his head. I look to Cora for more, but she stares outside the window with her arms crossed. I can notice in her hands the ravelled linen of her robe as she bunches it in distress. I assume that now is not the time to pry on their discomfort. Before we go further, so you can see this is what's going on in the game here. And we do have to pay attention to our choices. So that's what I say about there will be differences if you want to play yourself as opposed to watching me. Anyway, back to the story. Fumbling through my pockets, I'm surprised to find a few slivers of gold. Whatever that person was after didn't need these, apparently. Here we go. A few rolls to the character. Too bad. Let's just roll for one random stat here. Oh, I think it's probably a good thing we did that. +1 to strength. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit stronger. Let's just go with that. Otherwise we could be here all day trying to re-roll. As the game gets fed up of it, stops us. I think of little else to say as I gaze through the window towards the sky. A moon hangs full and well lit in the day. Thin clouds roll across as a breeze sweeps through the wagon. The air is crisp and refreshing. I'm thankful it did not leave me to die. Suddenly, Cora's tentative tone heightens my awareness back inside the wagon. Did you see that just now, Pendula? She pats his shoulder sharply and points out the window into the thicket of trees. Huh? See what? There, in the trees. I could have sworn I saw something. Nah, there's nothing there, Cora. Cora rubs the bottom of her palms with her fingers, lost in thought without ever taking her eyes off the trees. Go check on Mayu, please. She has the keenest of eyes. Do I have to? She was just here. Why didn't you... Now, Fendua. Fine. He mutters as he hops out of the wagon. I try to follow Cora's gaze into the forest as I observe. The trees stand tall and crowded, littering both sides of the road. Their branches sway in the wind as the leaves whistle out to us. I can't see anything amongst them. Just as Cora seems about to speak, the wagon abruptly slides to a halt. I can hear up ahead the cries of unsettled horses and the shouts of guards. Bandits! In the trees! I hear the sharp, sudden thuds of arrows they thwack into the side of the wagon. Cora herself winces at the sounds we're trying to peek from the corner of the window. What are you doing? I'm trying to... Damn, I need to see. She ducks below as an arrow flies through the window and sticks against the wall. These are not bandits, they're Culvens, which means they're here for one thing and one thing only. She takes a quick breath to gather herself. They're here for me, Geraint. Culvens? You? Culven thugs, they're no better than bandits. Why are they attacking? I should have mentioned earlier, I'm the daughter of the Queen. Oh, Icewind protects us. They're probably here for my head. You must help me, Geraint, or you're both dead. You help me, I'll do the same for you. That's good to hear, my friend. Cora reaches her hands into a small tan pouch by his side, fumbling around for something. If anything happens, seek Suddenly, a blast of wood and shrapnel sprays across us. I can feel the sting of slivers on my arms. Then there's a giant hole in the side of the wagon. The shouts and cries of battle are up all around as the man dives into the wagon, immediately grabs at Cora. Instantly jump on him, kicking at his helmet and armour. There's little to stop him. The other comes to his aid and shoves me off. Among the chaos, I can see more run in and drag Cora off into the trees, as little of her guard is even able to notice. The attackers, some of them main foxes with rapid fangs, rush to guards with jagged axes and swords. They scream shouts of anger towards them mid-charge. I noticed a fallen guard nearby, hand still clutching his sword. Several guards beyond, and where of Cora's capture, are heavy in combat with bandits rushing from the trees. I grab the sword on the ground and quickly run for Cora. Among all the chaos, I barely notice the bandit directly behind me. Before I can react, he chucks a throw-in axe that grazes my shoulder and flies into the trees ahead of me. Always go with the lower DC. With little knowledge in swordplay, I take my chances losing him in the forest. I sprint as fast as my legs could carry me, feeling as though my very joints would come loose at any moment. By the time I near the trees, I turn to see a guard that intersected his path and cut him down. Nice. I clear the tree line safely and feel a moment of respite as the sounds of swords clashing and men shouting grow faint. The guard that dropped the bandit must have seen me. We dash into view shortly after. Well, let me see. He motions to my wounds, ripping off a piece of his scarf and tightly pressing the cloth against it to slow the blood flow. I wince from the pain. Well, you got lucky. Doesn't look deep. I nod, unable to speak as I try to breathe through the pain. Where did they take her? Looks around for Cora. I point deeper into the trees while he helps me up. Come with me. They'll be safer by my side. I swiftly follow, knowing that if I stayed behind I'd surely perish. The forest here was dense. The white birch trees only grew about a foot around, but packed so closely like this made it hard to see but several meters ahead. In the distance we heard a sudden shout. The guard by my side lifted his paw to me. Stay behind me, but stay close. I nod, not wanting to lose my way. As we step further into the thicket, I spot something hanging from a bush. Picking it up, I notice it to be Cora's pouch he's reaching into earlier. They're Cora's. I nod slowly. The pouch hanging wide open. I can easily see a soft glow protruding from inside. I reach and pull out a smooth aqua stone, the source of the light. Was this what she's reaching for earlier, back in the wagon? By now, the wolf's attention was set on the shouts ahead. Well, she must be close. Come on. We quickly set pace as the shouts grew louder and louder. Around a tree into a small clearing where we spotted them. One of the bandits stood yelping and pulling away from Cora, with an oozing stream of blood dripping from his arm. She stood defensively slashing her assailants with a dagger. The fox drew his sword as the two bandits turned their attention to us. The wolf put his paw to me, signalling he could take care of it. The first fox leaps at him with his dagger as the guard parries the blow with a simple flick of his blade. The dagger flies into a tree not far off. With his body left open, the guard barely strikes him down as the second bandit is already mid-lunge towards him. The bandit manages to slash him before he has time to block. The wolf staggers back, a look of anger across his face. The stone between my fingers begins to glow as I know I must intervene. I have no idea how this stone's going to work. I would better attack with a sword. I sprint to the fox as he changes attention from the guard to me. He blocks my blow with ease and slashes at my side. I stumbled out the way as only the tip of his blade nicks my skin. With the bandit distracted, the guard thrusts his sword up and through the bandit's body. He dies instantly as he collapses to the ground. With both bandits quickly down, the third lets go of Cora in shock and turns to the trees, fleeing quickly. Oh, thank the moon you've made it rain. And with Geraint at that. Yes, he led me to your aid, Cora, and for that I'm thankful. Who knows what the Queen would do if we had lost you? As much as I like to chatter, I must return to my men. Follow in safe distance, but do not leave the trees unless all fighting is stopped, Cora. The grey wolf sheathed his sword and leaped through the trees, sprinting back to the sounds of battle. Oh, thank you, Geraint, for saving me. I wish you returned swiftly as well, for I must fight too. Cora takes the pouch and stones we head back, following Rain closely. We emerge from the trees to the familiar path. Most of the bandits now lay dead, with the Queen's guards scattered about collecting weapons or leaning against the wagon, tending to their wounds. A particular guard stands out to me. She walks over to a bandit sitting on the ground. He barely yet lives as he glares up at her. I am not scared of my fate, dog. Your queen is not mine. I defy the fairest rule. She is not the one to. The only things you defy are the creatures of Malenthia and the place you once called home. I watch as the bear raises a glaive in anger and drives it through the fox. Hues of deep red saturate the grass beneath him. Without the chaos of battle, I get a horrifying instant to watch, as I can't urge myself to look away. During the last moments of his breath, I notice his wounds crystallizing, and the hues of red slowly fade to grey. His lifeless eyes quickly lose coloration, while the thin strands of fur on his pelt begin to stiffen, no longer flowing in the wind. I look to everyone else. They seem unfazed by what is happening. Cora calls out to me before I get a moment to process. Geraint, we must head out in case there are more. She beckons me from the wagon, now fit with a large hole on the side. Within I can see Mayo sitting next to her. Nice, got some XP. I hop onto the wagon and settle myself amongst the spot I was once sitting, not but 20 minutes ago. Cora waits, uneasily watching the tree lines the mercenaries carefully place their fallen comrades atop the spare horses. I hear the calls of guards as they march into form. Come in, there are many bodies here. Let us move out before choked with dust. Once the wagon begins to move, Mayo turns to Cora. Do you know how much further until Havenhearth? A day's journey at best. So we'll probably have to camp tonight? Yes, by Leon most likely. It'll give me much comfort knowing we won't be alone. After a moment of silence, Cora turns to me, most likely noticing the look on my face. Is everything okay? I can't get that bandit out of my head. You mean when the guard killed that last Culven? I don't think I can explain this well enough, but so many hate the Culvens. They're out for nothing but violence and chasing an illusion of revenge. They think my family to be the instrument in their ruler's brutal end. It's truly tragic. There's nothing we can do to stem the tide of rumours and deceit. Who is Rain? He is the brother of Stenmir, leader of the mercenary group that Avera hired to guard me. Stenmir was the one that just gave the order for us to move. Him and Rain do great work together. We probably would not have made it out alive if not for them. I'm glad Rain was there. It's good you have them by your side. That is true. I'll try not to let this day drag us down. They're all your men soldiers. I know some of them do not wear the armour of the guards. They're mercenaries, men from the Knights of Raven. They mostly take up sentry jobs or help guard the realm of Malenthia from bandits and thieves. They generally patrol the roads in the Invaswin, will gladly accept coin for any job, as long as it follows the path of light, that is. Their strongholds on the hills of Malenthia, just near Mount Harry. Though the land itself is part of Malenthia, they typically rule the steady mutual relations to all countries of Tavnor, including Damaskia. Who exactly are the Culvens? The Culven Knights, or so they pretend to be, are named after the former ruler, Culviet. They fight in a name to try and take over what was never taken from them in the first place. The family reigned during the second era for a little over 200 years, but it wasn't that long as the scheme of eras go. Culviet's father ruled before her, and they did a great job at it, or so I've been told. Saw before I was even born, mind you. But after illness befell her father, she took over and it didn't go so well. I had to keep things rather short. No heirs lived to see the third era after the incident. After, my parents, Vesnar and Lavera, took over by default. It was something the kingdoms had never seen before. Many would say the terror that wiped her family was that of a hex planned by my parents, or at least that they'd have a part in it. As if Vesna would ever dare. Cora's tone sharpens near the end, clutching her fist tightly. Her breathing intensifies when she looks out again toward the forest and trees. I wish I could ask further. I can't imagine riding her emotion just by understanding. In the name of Aswin? Oh, Geralt. I already have much to teach you of this world, don't I? Don't worry, once we get to a place of rest, I'll be able to explain more of anything you wish. I have to figure out what the options are for you over a mug of cold wine and shade from this dreadful heat. But why would they attack you? I am the Queen's daughter. The Vera has slowly lost her support over the lands. Any good act she does goes hardly noticed. And after everything, I don't know what will happen. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Although the Queen is their primary goal, they do anything to harm her, if that meant hurting me. I've done nothing but exist, and some would now wish me dead just to get a point across. The paths are one of darkness. I don't think myself alone can show them the light. An end to our conversation comes as silence eventually ensues. I gaze upon the trees passing by. The only sound beside the birds are of the wagon itself bouncing and swaying from the worn and dusty road. We have more lore. As if swept by a mind not my own, I dream with familiarity among the rhythmic grinding of the iron skein against wood. The forged springs weak and weathered creaking under the wagon's weight. The timber spokes croaking as they roll over every rock left stuck within the dirt below. I cannot place my mind, even now. Geraint. The only thing I know is Geraint. Me, but nothing about me. I yearn to remember, but fear what it may bring. If I am the only human here, what of my family? My friends? Do I even have any? Or is it, did I even have any? What is my path? My meaning? For a moment I hope my lack of knowledge is bliss. I guess only time will tell. The three of us sat for a good hour or so, enjoying the silence after what commotion had erupted so suddenly before. Thinking on my own. Have you ever been before, Mayu? Yeah, I guess you don't know more of my own journeys than even myself. I know little where you take me, but that I follow. I am from Zemir, as you know. I barely set foot in Valentia when I joined you in Lavera's company. I was thinking you may well enjoy the quiet riverside. You must not know me well, then. Oh? A Zemirian forest cat more drawn to the bustling markets and tavern bars? Why not all forest cats settle among the countryside? And a bard, eh? You are right, I seem to notice along your interests. Would you care to share? Another time, perhaps. Oh, all right. After Cora turns to me, noticing something. Geraint, you're hurt? I looked down to see my shirt had been slowly soaking blood from my cut. It hurt, but I'd not expected it to continue bleeding. You should have told me. She reaches into a bag and digs around before putting out a small vial, leaving with the red ooze inside. Here, she says as she leans forward to help. I take the vial from her and pop the cork off, pouring over my wounds. It was murky and hardly flowed, like a thick gel as its touch was bitter cold. The second it seeped into my wounds, I felt my flesh burning worse than the cut itself. I grimaced tightly, gripping the side of the wagon. What is this stuff? It burns! Health potion, she states simply. Although it can't bring you back from the dead or cure a serious injury, it does help a bit. I was moments from criticising the idea of help when the burning sensation subsides, as fast as it occurred. I looked at my cuts in astonishment, to witness the wound, although still deep and tender, had scabbed over instantaneously and no longer bled. Cora smiled softly, floating back to Mayu. Mayu, I'd like if you can head up front again. We should be reaching Naoon soon. Mayu nods. I don't expect any trouble, but I would like to be sure. This is where we are. This is where we're headed. Yes. see. This looks like a nice place. Before long we're near Leun. It was pleasant and quiet, as Cora had put it earlier. A single inn stood only a few stories tall alongside a mere couple of houses. On the end of the town, I could see a farmstead stretched along the riverside. Only a single creature stood outside the inn. It was a strange feeling arriving to Leun. As I hopped down from the wagon and glanced up at the sky, the moon remained fixated in its position. It threw me off for a moment, as I saw hours had passed by since I saw it last. It held high with a soft red tint to its surface. The creature standing by approaches and kneels before Cora. He was like that of a saber-toothed tiger, with accents of dark markings on his soft bluish fur. He stood tall and agile. A rapier sat furnished on the strap to his belt, with a small gem that dangled from a lace round his neck. "A pleasantries, my seeker." "Soma, you need not kneel. I am no seeker just yet." The tiger before me slowly rose. He held his head high, shifting his shoulders before speaking again. "This one?" He barely looked, but I could feel his implication was towards me. "This is Geraint. He's joined us to Havenhearth. I'm in hopes that Kali will know from where he comes." "He himself does not know?" My head is a bit fuzzy, but I don't think so. It is a shame. "So you came to meet us in Leun?" "The ride you sent had worried your mother greatly. She'd almost sent guards to accompany me. But I assured her I was enough." "Oh, Soma, that mentality is going to get you killed." She chuckles. "That'll be the day." Soma smirks as he hugs Cora. "I'm glad you're a safe, Seeker." "We're heading down to the river to cool off if you'd like to join us." "I would not mind a rest after today's journey." "You're telling me." We walked down the slope in the road to join the others. Just as we were settling down and finally able to relax, I noticed the guards still hard at work. Many were shuffling the wagons into a half-circle formation by the river, some setting up tents and equipment. The rest stood guard, keeping eyes fastened towards the tree line. Cora rambled tales to Soma as Mayu and I sat quiet. Some were offered little in word, many reactionary snorts amongst the snacks lay before us. I wanted to process the stories and partake of the cheeses and refreshments. But all was not settling well. Exhaustion had beseeched me. I felt as if not of this place. To have lost any knowledge of before was one thing, but to be around others who were just as unaware as I felt so alienating. Cora must have noticed my fatigue. She pointed me towards the rich tents freshly set by the guards. I gave no hesitation as I went and rested my weary eyes. We have 2 stats points. So let's take a look here. Because I don't really know what character we're playing yet. I'm a D&D player, so I tend to think of what class I am, and so forth, so on and so forth. So that's for now. Strength went up before, so +1 to strength. And let's just up our agility a bit as well. Let's see how that goes. Okay. 0 charisma, that's actually worse than most of my D&D characters. I tend to use that as a dump stat. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Okay, character sheet updated later. We want to make a quick manual save here. As you can see, I was using this in the demo. I changed the name. It's also from Welsh mythology, that name. But the evening was still young when I rested. I was deeply surprised to have slept the entire night and well into the morning. I woke to the sun barely a sliver above the horizon as it began its climb. The cool, crisp air and sweet smell of campfire roused me justly. There was a commotion by the river's edge where someone was threatening to throw a wolf guard into the water. I was too far to tell if it was in jest or sincerity. It caught Maeve's attention as she watched on from the nearby trees. Fendur was nowhere to be seen. Cora sat alone by the fire, humming to herself. She won me over the moment she saw me. You see this? I nodded as it turned out to be the stone I'd found among her belongings in the woods. The stone was small, about 1/3 the size of an apple. It was an opaque white with soft hues of blue and grey. This is a tear from the world tree, grown from the seed of life. We sprouted from within its veins over 1,000 years ago. Every so often, the Thea, mother of all creature kind, and the land from which we walk upon, will weep for the lives long lost. As their souls move on to other realms, energies of their spirit will be drawn back to the beginning and unify with their tears. They'll fall every now and then, be collected by the Fae within the forest. Not too sure why, not many tend to fall anymore. She utters softly as she holds the stone gently within her palm. The edges of the gem were rough, but not too jagged. I could not tell whether it was chiselled to the shape of a tear, or it formed naturally in that manner. When you came to help me in our ambush, I saw the tear was glowing in your hand. The magic within responded to you. Magic? That's what the tears are for. Remnant energies that flow like rivers around us, able to be tapped into with these stones. The way it glowed, though, it responds to you directly. It takes purpose, mindfulness to get it to respond. Yet the stone reacted to you with no memory, no inherited knowledge. Yeah, probably nothing. It's probably nothing. I think you should give our gods more credit. The power comes from them, after all. Either way, I'm thankful you saved me back there. I could have handled it if not lost a tear in my bag. I think it'd be wise to teach you to use it, though. Yeah. If she wants to help, might as well. I agree. Great, then we'll start now. Cora holds the stone back up, levelling it with my eyes. There's something about them that feel almost plain. Whenever the energy is dispossessed, that is. You can always tell because in the core there's generally a soft glow. When you use it, the energy is spent quite quickly. The better you get at it, the more you can do. But you can also charge them with the help of Aswin. Her eyes glanced at the fire beside her, then back to me. Sit by me and hold out your palm. After I sit on the log, Cora sets a tear within the centre of my hand, then folds my fingers gently over it. You don't want to squeeze too tightly. Hold it gently like you would a small butterfly, with just enough gaps to let air through. Now hold it near the fire, almost close enough until you feel the fire's heat touch your fingers. She watches me closely, as I do all that she instructs. Good. Now close your eyes. Feel the tear among your palm. Allow the heat from the fire to wisp through your fingers and wrap around the stone. Aswin, goddess of fire and light, give us respite and not your warmth. Cora whispers, reciting several lines in devotion. For a moment I gave little thought to what she was saying, until the stone within my hand began to quiver. It was gentle, barely noticeable, like a sway from one side to the other. Then it began to warm and heat the entirety of my hand. I feel as the temperature crawls on my skin and down my wrist. I slowly open my eyes to see a soft ray of light seeping through my fingers. My eyes widen and I look to Cora with a smile. Yes, that's it, she chirps excitedly. The light pulses and brightens within my grasp. Its light grew brighter. Then almost blinding, the refreshing warmth quickly escalated to a stinging burn. I could neither seem to let go nor withdraw from the flame. Whoa, relax, careful. The shouting does not help. My arm began to ache, so my only instinct was to break free of whatever was happening. I slowly peeled my fingers from the grip like breaking free from a mould. The tear's light shined and flashed before me instantly, vanishing the moment my hand broke free. I drew my arm to my chest, away from the fire as the stone fell to the ground. Cora gave a soft chuckle as I glared at her. I could not perceive what was funny in this situation. Okay, we have a wand and charm. Interesting. Oh, new dice. We'll check all these things out when we get to the end of chapter 1. Well, you managed to charge a stone. What was that? That was Aswin's light, the arcane we draw from. It's powerful, severe among any of our understanding. It's hard to control, and generally your first lesson isn't with the stone itself. I wanted to see how you do. I mean, you still have your hand, so that's good. That last part better be a joke. I give her a quizzical look. She picks the stone up, observing it slightly before putting it away within her bag. My head and arms ached. I wanted to understand more, but I didn't know what I could even say or where to start. I turned to Cora, who's now gazing upon the fire, watching it for a time. She's pondering something, surely. So, who is Soma? I don't be bothered by Soma. He's cautious around newcomers, as any provision guard should be. He's one of the first to join me a few years back. Just don't lie to him and you'll be friends in no time. What are you thinking? I'm just remembering the time my father first taught me of magic. It can be scary, but there's a sort of beauty in the risks it holds. The power requires a pure heart. It should be used to help people, not to harm. That is Aswin's word. Where is your father now? He is no longer with us. I don't know what to make of it still. Cora's lip begins to quiver as she looks away from me, saying little else on the matter. How many still use magic? It's hard to tell, but it seems fairly rare nowadays. As if Aswin holds the key tighter and tighter, while more use her power for wrong. This is why we must walk the right path, or we all fall in the way of decay. Well, I think that is all, Geralt. Thanks for joining me. Oh, before you go, can you find Fendir for me? I don't want him wandering too far. Oh, you can tell I'm slightly tired here. Yeah, switch pronunciation on there into a kind of English-Welsh version. We'll try and stay there what I started with. Oh, sure thing. Oh, thank you. We shouldn't have gone too far. I nod, letting out a soft morning stretch while heading to the nearby trees. I step into the trees and glance around. Twigs and leaves scattered the ground, and birds chirp their morning songs loudly from the branches. The plant life here was more varied and thinner in density than when we were on the road. The vibrant green gave a freshness this air I could appreciate. Where could Fendur have gone? I wondered. I make several paces farther, turning back to notice the camp barely visible between the massive trees. I decided to go a bit farther. Soon I came to a small stream crossing my path. It's a mere 2 feet wide and trickled down the hillside. The path I was following continued across the stream and onwards. Yet another trail followed the stream. Let's follow the stream. The trickle of flowing water over rocks soothed my mind as I walked. The forest was quieter than I would have thought. Only a chirp or two from a bird would sing along as the branches ahead swayed from a gentle breeze. The space ahead cleared as the trees grew farther from the stream. So I walked on and could hear an argument ahead. The shouting not of hate, but the tones felt hastened, perhaps frustrated. I stepped from the bushes and rounded the spot to see Stenmir, the massive wolf, speaking with his younger brother. This should have never happened like this job. It wasn't worth it. What do I do for our comrades now? Their families? We'll figure it out, brother, like we always do. The Knights of Raven are here for us. I lost too many yesterday. I don't know what to tell their families. Death is expected among most... I mean for compensation, brother. The Queen is not paying us enough to aid them. Her gratuity on death must be honoured as it was for us. Now we ask for more. If she wants to continue our services, she will accept. The job wasn't supposed to go like this. Not imagine her paying it for so many. And then there's the matter of the job. We protected Cora, but only just. It'd have gone much worse. But it didn't. It could have. I don't see this getting better. We're already underpaid, and who knows if she'll want us after hearing of this. We will find a way. Rain lifts the paw to his brother's shoulder, like we always do. The air between them grows silent as I approach. The crackling of leaves beneath gives me away as they turn to me. Stenmere watches me sharply. I'm unsure what to make of it. Oh, greetings. You fought well yesterday. For a furless. A grin crosses both their lips. Rain steps forward and pats me on the shoulder with a soft chuckle. The force of his paw nearly sends me stumbling. A joke, Garrett. What brings you into the forest? I'm looking for Fendir. This is so hard to get right. Rain shrugs, turning to Stenmere. I saw him pass not long ago, most likely back for camp. Thank you. I head back the way I came, continuing my search for Fendur. As I head down the trail I followed, I noticed movement through the trees towards camp. Many guards were taking down the tents, and I saw Fendur exiting the trees. I'd missed him entirely. I decided to head towards camp as well. Back up, we're heading out. I missed the picture there. Pack up, we're heading out. A guard shouts to a man. Soma waves me over, who was standing with Mayo by some wooden supply crates. Mayo, he has told me a bit about you. I hope you did not catch me as rude earlier. I'm just weird of anyone new around Cora. She must be protected by all costs. All is good. Happy to hear. How dangerous is it for Cora? Honestly, we weren't sure this very until yesterday. The Elven King was assassinated. Who knows what is next? It is troubling to think what will happen now. His death has surely enraged those who adhere to him, but could also encourage an uprising. Wait, he was assassinated? Shh, not too loud. Mayo places the finger to her lips and quickly glances to Cora. Quietly, someone replies, Yes, Vesna was murdered several suns ago. It's been rough for Cora. We are returning that she can mourn and attend to father's sending. Who killed him? He was killed in his sleep. Supposedly a guard had seen the killer that same night. Queen Lavera will not rest until he's caught. Surely he will not make it far. So Lavera rules alone now. Has there ever been a queen before? I believe there's been a few. Although I know little of Malenthia's history. Soma turns to Mayo. I'm not from here, but even if I was, politics are my least favourite. Are you not part of the guard? Of course, but it's more personal than anything. Lavera helped me when I first came to Malenthia, so I have them to thank. What is ascending? Ascending is the service for the dead. My mind instantly warped to the Culven that was killed beside the wagon yesterday, his blood and wounds solidifying before my very eyes. I wasn't sure how to bring it up. You look lost, Garrett. You really are from somewhere else. Did people hold ceremonies where you were from? Honestly, I tried to remember. Something felt lost within me. It seems foggy. You'll see soon enough, if that is what you're wondering. Life is harsher and death is common in Tavnor. Make sure people don't take advantage of your kindness, Garrett. That is the easiest path for them. Before I forget, Mayo detaches the sheathed weapon from a belt and hands it to me. You should take this. I know you have that cheap sword there. This is fine as steel. Thank you. I removed the blade from its sheath as inspected. It was a sharpened dagger with a long curve to its spine. The handle was made of polished wood and felt easy to hold due to fine engravings on the grip. This is not an act of compassion. Mayo states abruptly. Cora simply promised me a better blade if I give this one to you. Better be safe, yes? She shrugs and turns back to the crate she is packing. I nod to Soma and take my leave. As I near Cora, I see her talking to someone. It was a shorter, grey and white husky with a burlap sack slouched by his feet and a spear across his back. Okay, right. Meet Kameo, the owner of the inn here in Leon. She turns back to him. Next time we stop by, we'll have to try your new mead.
Oh, definitely. Hopefully I can be here to serve you. I am heading out of town as well.
To Havenhearth?
Oh, yep. I need to make the market rounds. Not everything can be grown out here, unfortunately.
Why not travel with us?
Are you sure?
It'll be much safer that way.
Well, thank you dearly, Cora.
But who will watch your inn?
Well, Tal can run it on her own now. She already learned the art of guest keeping better than me.
Kameo kept planting over to me with an occasional quirky smile and nod.
So you are Geraint. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Cora, thank you again. I must ready my mule and wagon with haste then.
Kameo nods once more for leaving briskly. Once he's out of ear's reach, Cora chuckles softly. I think you made him nervous, Geraint.
What? How so?
You're neither creature nor elf. It's a fascinating abnormality, like a griffin among evils. Cora pauses for a moment. I can only hope our travels keep, even after we reach Havenhearth.
What happens when we reach Havenhearth?
Her mother has the council with her, and hopes that Khalid, the head of the advisors, may have some ideas. Personally, I'd like if you stayed within my guard. That is more so up to Lavera, though, and you, of course. There's just so much I'd like to learn from you. Soma waits to Cora as he loads the last of the crates onto the wagon. Are you ready to leave, Geraint?
I believe so.
The road will be long, but this is the last stretch. You don't need to stay in the wagon all day if you want. Let's hang out with Soma, I think. I load up in the wagons we set off quickly, back within the swaying wagon once more. Eventually the road grew familiar again as everyone seemed to gather into their own thoughts. Cora was constantly watching the trees and countryside. Soma sat with his dagger propped on his knee. Occasionally he would inspect it, scuffing at blemished parts of the blade with his claw. For me, I could not get my mind off things. But I've yet to learn so much more about this world and myself. I cannot resist drifting my anxious thoughts as to what may come. I can only hope that perhaps this Kali will have some answers. Before long, Cora leans to the side and passes out, snoring softly. She stays up late a lot, talking to Aswin in the day and Earthier in the night. I feel the Ravens could use a seeker of sorts too. But I don't agree with them. Their way of finding hope is admirable. Do you not like the Knights of Raven? Well, I would not say I dislike them. I just find their path too righteous for me. There was a moment I had joined them, not even for an entire fortnight. I was the first to come across an outlaw in the ranks. Not only was he stealing from the Ravens, he was detailing our intel to bandits, so they could easily avoid us on the roads as they pillaged. So, of course, I stuck my blade into his chest. They said they'd have preferred a trial. What good would it have done? Tie him up for a few weeks? What does he learn then? He'd escape freely to do harm to others again. So they booted me.
So what led you to join Cora? She was just as righteous to me as the Ravens.
But you see, I have no problem with those who are. It's when you try to tell me how to be that I have a problem. Cora helps me as I do for her. Nothing gets between me and Cora, as long as I'm around. And the best part is, harming a daughter of the Queen is punishable by death. He gives off a loud snort. How long have you known Cora? I've known her for several years now. I don't know the best way to say. I've not met anyone more innocent than her. She is truly a seeker already. But times are tough for us all now, but I have hopes she'll guide Malenthia and its creatures when she takes over the position. Where is the Seeker now? I cannot guess. Cora would know all about him. It was nearing past noon when I could finally see it. Even half. We crested a large hill and continued to descend into a large valley. It was still many miles off, but I could see the tips of towers and walls. This must be it. Havenhath. I hear several of the guards holler after Stenmere. I could feel the air lift, as many must be glad to be rid of the forest. While I enjoyed its beauty, the dangers seemed more severe by far. After the shouts of glee settled, I noticed Stenmere ride up next to the wagon with his horse. So, Ewan. Yes? Why are you here? How am I even to answer him? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be here or... I think you are. I don't know if I like it, but we'll see. In a world like Tavnor, I thought there'd be more creatures like Rain and I. What do you mean? There's nobody else to call our own. We're all that's left. Everyone else I know either has their home or left it. Me? I was thrown from it. The only sad part is I didn't get to tear it down as I left. For some, all that calls after is the Shadow's Bane for Shadow's Embrace. All I'm saying is, you should have nowhere to go after Haven. If you still want to learn to fight, come to Raven's Hallow. I'll show you real strength. Stenmere veers his horse in the wagon, trotting it back to his group. I hear footsteps. I turn to see the husky Cameo approach him briskly. He's panting a bit as his tongue sticks out. Everything okay? Yes, indeed. Just tired. Cameo inhales heavily between his words. Everyone's walking. Oh, so fast. I had to walk faster too. Get up here. You probably could have waited for a downhill to catch up. Most definitely. You're wise, human. Maybe you could be an advisor to the Queen. Was this sarcasm? I could not quite tell until I can see Cameo grinning. I wanted to catch up and have the chance to speak with a human. You can call me Geraint. Cora had said Geraint. I am saying it right? Geraint? Yes, that is right. So, how do you like Malenthia? Bit hostile here. It can be that way from time to time. There will be outlaws and the like, always looking for easy coin. Cora told me you recall little of what has happened to you. That is true. Well, take it from me. I once fell off a ladder. Oh, hit my head real good. Couldn't remember how to break bread for weeks. But I regained everything. With time. But I'll come back to you. I appreciate the sentiment. Cameo nods to me with a smile. Well, whether you are from here or not, do not fret. That's when guides over all, even if you're not one of hers. Thank you. He was about to speak again for a severe dimming of light overcame us. Like a thick looming cloud passing the sun, the air around us had darkened considerably. It wasn't much. The sudden nature of it was what startled me. Immediately I glanced up at the sun to see it shimmering past the moon in a partial eclipse. The moon itself, static in the skies that loomed over the world. It only lasted a moment before the sun had glided by and everything was back to normal. Anewa's watch. Who? Anewa. Cameo points to the moon. He watches us, never moving.
Every day the sun will passing by. Did you not see it yesterday? We reached camp before then. It must have happened when I was asleep. Oh, you'll get used to it. Well, have enjoyed our chatter. Maybe we can speak again soon. Mayo left back to his position. The convoy travelled on. Finally, we'd made it. Past hills and through the last stretch of valley, Havenhearth laid ahead. The mass of the ocean glistened behind it with the mountains of the peninsula stretching far beyond. I never felt more relieved to see true civilization, if it was one I'm not familiar with. We passed through several outskirts of houses and shops before reaching the walls beyond. The structures of Havenhearth were grand in scale. The bricks of the towers and walls were different than the Leone's. They were sharply cut and thick in comparison, staggered together in a perfect pattern of masonry. With the entirety of the city walled and guarded, I had zero clue what lay behind them. Many of the guards and mercenaries took their leave from our convoy, began fighting from an encampment nearby, following the lead of Stenmere and his men. This left only a small group of us to enter town. Stepping through the gates made the city feel small at first. We walked down a path of gorgeous trees and pottery jars filled with flowers. It then led to a larger path we turned onto. Walking down, I could see packed buildings and signs of all kinds that hung from the doorsteps. Towering inns, busy storefronts, and stalls of every variety packed all onto just one street. So many sounds of bustle and howl of creatures passing by and talking overwhelmed my ears. Wolves, elves, tigers, dogs. The smells of dirt, all the new fruits, busy animals, feral or otherwise, smothered my nose. It was incredible. My eyes were darting from one thing to the next, but everyone's eyes were on me. Welcome to Havenhearth, Cora smiled, happy to be home. Just as she turned to me, I was quickly approached by two others. Cora. Hallie, my Aswin, it's been too long. Cora runs to the elf and hugs him close. Ah, and it's whom we've heard about? The tall elf spoke, his hair flowing long and glimmering down past his shoulders. His ears stood high and steep, likewise to his posture. He spoke with an elegance that was oddly comforting. Yes, Geralt, meet my older brother and soon-to-be king, Alekar. Truly, a remarkable pleasure. He bows deeply. I was slightly perplexed. The prince bowing to me? You don't need to bow. But I must. You do not know what this means. He stepped inward to me, still closer than anyone's gotten yet. A quick touch on my chin, studying my face. He then grasped my wrist and lifted my hand, observing me. His head was tilted with curiosity all the while. Fearless, but not elf nor fae. Heavily intriguing. The creature beside the elf spoke. He was an avian creature resembling a hawk, with a shallow bent beak and glossy narrow eyes. He held his beak high, picking his words slowly, almost carefully as he spoke. Never have I seen such a thing or read. Nothing of text speak of such. Okay guys, you're going to make him turn red. Hey, sorry, please forgive me. You can call me Kali. I am the Queen's advisor and head of council. We have eagerly awaited for all of you to return for days now. Sister, it has been hard here. I can only imagine. Her voice was quiet as she spoke. Father will be leaving soon. I think you should rest a bit before the send-in. As Cora turns to walk with them, Kali opens his wings up just a feather. As much as I'd like for everyone to come with us to the castle, it would not be wise to do so. He looks to Fendur, Kameo, and all the other new faces. Especially now. I guess you're right. She turns to the rest of us. We'll fetch him to get you guys at sunset. Fendur, stay with Geraint if you can. She then turns to me. We'll speak very soon and figure out what we can do. I promise I will help. With that, she leaves with Soma and Mayu, following Alekar and Khalid towards the inner city. Once everyone's out of earshot, Fendur speaks. This is the usual, Geraint. Once the Vera hears you return, and she'll likely want to speak with you too. Why would the Queen want to speak to me? You practically said Cora, not to mention you. You should be excited. Anywho, I tend to go to the inn at this point. Food to fill you up and baths to calm your mind. A soaking sanctuary. I can't have me, but they serve the hottest mug of honey brewed herb teas, and the bread is to die for. Fluffy yet perfectly crunchy crust. I can literally see Fendir foam at the mouth as he speaks. Oh, I'm parched from the walk too. I think I'll join you guys. The market can wait for a new day. With that, we walk towards the town square. There, more stalls filled every empty space. Even half of the trading centre of Melenthia, or at least looked that way. The tavern sat to the side, standing out from the rest is so tall than any building around. The roof overhung by several feet, with gorgeously large lanterns that hung from it by long steel chains. Inside was better lit than I had imagined. Large windows in the front illuminated the first half. Beyond hung several candle chandeliers, all of them flickering and dancing to the happy drunken chatter that filled the air with an uplifting spirit about it. Again, I could not seem to hide among the eyes of so many curious beasts and bodies around. I could not quite tell if I was going to like this admiration, or become deeply anxious at any moment. First drinks on me, Garant. Don't worry, they have milk and teas too. Kameo pats me on the back as he happily sits down at an empty table. Fenrir flops next to him and begins playing with the candle placed in the centre. How often do you come here, Kameo? Maybe every cycle or so. I, for one, prefer the calmer countryside to this. It's why I set up my inn among Leon, after all. Are you doing all right, Fenrir? He shrugged slightly. I am, and I'm not. I'm happy to be here, but can't quite explain it. I don't think a single cell I grow tired of the creatures. How come you could not go with Cora? Asked Fenrir. Yes, no, it's my father, but Lavera not my mother. For that, I'm neither highborn nor of royal stature. It is stupid. If Lavera is able to go against tradition to crown Annika, I should have the same judgment to be allowed in. But whatever. Royal craft is just that. Rubbish. He mutters under his breath, glaring at the candlelight for several seconds. I grow silent for a moment, unsure how to feel. As soon as someone brought us bread and drinks, we eagerly consumed a lot of it. I, for one, felt drained from the ride and was in much need for refreshment. Do you feel this is similar to where you may have come from, Geraint? I take a moment to look around the filled tables and chattering of creatures. In sorts, I think so. Kameo nods happily. Good, good. So why Leon? Well, I'd only one farmhouse at the time. Before it was Leon even. The road being between Melenthia and Nacera meant it was heavily travelled. We always talked about setting up there because it'd be quite worthwhile. Tell me if you're in. It wasn't my idea to start. It was Leon's, my former lover. He was always better with people than I. It's been about 5 years or so since then. Is it okay if I ask what happened to Leon? It is okay. We passed protecting the neighbour's daughter, Tal. We were raided by bandits. That was maybe only a year after building the inn. I think it's the main reason not many have moved nearby, despite the fields being perfect for crops. I'm sorry to hear of that. Well, I appreciate it. At times, it still feels impossible to go on at nights. If it weren't for Tal, I don't know where I'd be. It was her idea to name the place after him, so his legacy will live on. That and the inn keep me tied to the place. We filled the town with much idle chatter while Fendi would often stick his fingers in the candle wax, just to watch it dry. It did not take long for Kali to return to us. He made a statement aloud as everyone in the tavern fell silent to listen. Identical creatures, the sending is nigh for the elven king Vesna. To the great hearth if you wish to honour his sending. I looked at Fendi, whose face turns pale. He spoke no words, he slowly stood and followed the masses out. I felt a great empathy for him. Kameo and I followed the rest. So we left the tavern. We followed the narrow streets as many left their homes and stores for this event. We walked towards the ocean as we entered a harbour, began climbing rows and rows of stone steps. And that is where we're going to leave it for today. Again, thanks to the dev for sending me the key for this. It's available on Steam if you want to buy it yourself. I'm going to try and do roughly once a month for this series. We can get through it. It's unusual for me in that everything is ready. Normally I have to wait for updates to come out, so we'll work on it that way. And yes, I am, if you notice, I am a little tired. I'm actually suffering from burnout from my day job. This actually is fun stuff to do, so don't worry about me doing the videos here. It all helps. So yes, we'll probably doing a few slightly shorter videos, and we might drop the weekday videos just for a few weeks. Still, I can recover a bit more from this. We'll see how things go. I am looking after myself, don't worry. But I hope you're enjoying this one. I definitely am. I love Kameo. He's my favourite character so far, and I don't think it popped up. I wasn't paying attention, but I've got an achievement for Rain surviving there. And also, I do have to mention before anyone, you're probably already in the comments already. Yes, I do know Far Beyond the World has just had a public update. I promised that this one would be going out today, hence this new series is starting. So probably next weekend there will be part of the new Far Beyond the World update. I'm not entirely sure how long it is, so as I'm trying to keep the video short, we'll probably not do all of it, but we will be doing a somewhat regular thing. We may catch up to the builds coming out, we may not. We'll see what happens. I have a lot of work to do and only so many weekends. But yeah, that will be coming out. We have more Spectrum of Hybrids, there's more By Your Hands to come back up. There's a new Dawn Chorus update with Bjorn I want to get to as soon as I can. So that's one to look forward to. And of course more After Years coming. And I still need to get to Mines Royal Hotel. We have to get back to that. I'll figure out the schedule this weekend. I'm one of the people who, if I want to be one of the people I should say, who gets to hear what the schedule is early when I remember to do it. You can follow me on Patreon. That one I'll probably put, so you'll all see it. You don't have to be paying me money. But some of the people who do pay me money, yeah, these segues just get worse and worse, don't they? I should stop doing them. Are my top patrons. And they are Addy Bear, Vulpers Need Coffee, Amaterasu, Tiger Cup, Smuto, Spiderling, Rafu, Omar, Mohammed Al-Zamel, Mario Cervantes, Matt Kenya, Katek, Kevin King, Ida Koval, Always Mouse Productions, Riz, Exact, Dissonance, Gobus Visser, Brian Hall, The Acre, Bastian, Aaron Fox, and Andy Payne. So special thanks to them, and also everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. I had an idea about some extra bits you can get on there. I might run it through you all sometime. But thank you all for watching as well. I really do appreciate your views on these videos. It means I'm not completely wasting my time. So we'll have more Moonfire, a Seeker Saga back later in September. And yes, we'll be Far Beyond the World probably next weekend. Unless too many people start badgering me about it, I might just put it back a week because I can. But thanks for watching. Bye for now.